So I know when I was playing this game, I mean, I played since 1.3, right? Which is like, I don't even know how long ago at this point, but
13 years.
Yeah, and like some of those guys are still playing to this day, you know? And I think that's pretty cool, but that's not necessarily like my favorite team anymore. My favorite team are the ones that are like continually reinventing the meta. So I would probably say, you know, maybe SK or maybe even like Mouse Sports. There's some team that kind of, they have to think outside the box because that they think they need an advantage to kind of keep at the top. So what about you guys? What do you guys like? Favorite teams?
Now or in the past?
I just like, I want to know kind of like, you know, why did you guys like those teams? Was it the players because you met them, or like, you know, you saw them on stream, you like the personalities? Like, why is it your favorite team?
She's talking about the past or the?
That's up to you guys.
Don't matter.
I didn't really watch that many teams when I was playing, like first coming in the scene, because I was just playing. Like I didn't want to go pro. I just happened to go pro because I played in teams. But yeah, I guess a team like I like to watch is SK. Like you said, they invent a lot of new things, and they changed meta a lot in the past. I think more so than other teams have. So that help other teams grow by taking stuff from them and tweaking that. So.
I remember when you first started playing. We used to 10-man a lot back then. That was like when you first started playing, right? Around the same time. So then.
Was on there or what?
Nah, Stu was just like starting middle school maybe.
Gank guy?
Huh?
Gank?
Yeah, Gank. Yeah, he would start all these 10-mans. But I remember you were just getting noticed because you were like this guy that played like what, Battlefield or something? Call of Duty, whatever, same thing. And then you play that game and people were like, dude, this guy's hacking. You know, that's kind of how you got noticed, how Stu got noticed too, right? So I think that's like...
That's the greatest feeling. It's like, you're cheating. I'm like, I'm not cheating.
Yeah, so then when people started asking you to join, their teams and stuff, how would you decide? Like, did you even want to play at a pro?
Yeah, I mean, I said I might as well. Like, I enjoy playing the game. Why would I be playing it otherwise? And if you can only get so much out of playing 10-mans, you know? I think once you play in a team setting, you realize there's a lot more to the game than just pugging around and wide swinging and everything. So I think that playing my first like semi-pro team / pro team really gave me like the love I wanted for this game and made me want to keep going.
Now, be honest, like, you know, back then, like, obviously, like, the money in the game wasn't that high, right? Yeah. Especially at semi-pro level. So, like, at what point were you like, okay, you know, I'm good at this game, but also I know I can actually pursue this and make, like, a career out of it?
That's when I got my first salary, probably.
Really?
Like, it was like $400 a month, which is obviously, it's trash, but, like, I got it, I'm like, I'm actually getting money from this, you know, and like this, and I can only see it going up, so.
Okay. That makes sense. What about the rest of you guys? Like, favorite team, even, like, when you guys first started playing, or even before you started playing, just watching the game? Yeah, I mean, what about you, Stu?
I don't know. I didn't really watch that many games. Well, I did watch a lot of games, but it's because I bet on them. Back in the day when CSGO launched.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would bet on them. I would watch teams like Titan when they had Kenny S.
Oh, that was a good team, actually.
NIP, Fnatic, Cloud9, Avatar.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, like, is there a reason though that you like watching them besides the betting thing? Like, did you know, maybe you got into it because you were betting on games or whatever, but like, when you started watching them, were you like, oh, I can learn something from this? Or were you kind of just like, oh, I just like these players? Or what was the reason that you like these guys?
Well, the only reason I watched them was because I was betting, but actually, like, I started getting to know the game a little more from, like, knowing about, like, Kenny S being the star of Titan. Like, NMP was, like, 81-0 on LAN.
Yeah, that was an insane run for sure.
A7.
Yeah, A7.
Yeah.
And then Fnatic, they had, like, this boost. And, like, that's when
that's
That
true.
was cool.
So is it basically like, you kind of like notice like this, like they were known for these notorious things, and you like kind of like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, let me get in on why people are watching all these guys.
Yeah, kind of like just a new player in the scene.
Yeah,
I guess another team that I didn't mention this, but I like watching was Complexity, the old one with Hiko, Semphis, Sean Gears, Jordan or Nothing, and Brax.
Yeah.
I thought that team was really, really good and probably like one of the better NA teams in like the entire history of NA teams. And they were like always beating top European talents when no one else was. So I think it was cool to watch them. That was probably the team I like to watch the most.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, what about the rest of you guys? Like, teams that just kind of caught your eye for what reason?
I would say I think Virtus Pro is one team that is really cool to watch because they've been together for so long. Like, I think, for example, Taz and Neo have been playing together for over 10 years. And then that roster's been together for over 5 years or something like that. Obviously, recently they broke up, but I feel like them being together for such a long time and winning so many championships when all odds were against them is really cool. Yeah. So I think that's like one of the teams that I have a lot of respect for.
Yeah, because they stayed together even through the hard times. Like, they had times where they weren't doing well at all, but they still, no matter what, they stayed together, you know?
I know it was like a running joke, like when Tim, me, and Semphis were on a team, right? And we were just like, you know, boys, like, maybe we're sucking right now, but Virtus Pro, they suck for 6 months and they're insane for 6 months. Like I think honestly it gave us kind of like inspiration to know that like
I think that inspired a lot of people.
yeah, and like they're constantly working on something new or like changing the meta or something like that, and they're gonna be coming back stronger. And I think that was probably like the coolest thing about watching those guys is it doesn't matter if they're doing bad, they'll just kind of keep coming back stronger, and you always have to fear them when you play them, right?
Yeah.
So it like that's why they were the NA killer for such a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tim, what about you?
In Source?
Anything.
In Source, when I first started playing, I watched a lot of demos of Puggers. There were 2 guys. One of the guys was Zeus, and one of the guys was Comet. Well, there were 4 actually. Zeus, Comet, K-Train, and Freakazoid.
Okay.
And they all had different play styles. One guy was like really meticulous with like everything he did, like how he would default. So I would learn how to default from him, and then Freak would just rush. So I would just learn like rush routes pretty much from him.
Okay.
And then Comet and K-Train, they were both like really big baiters, so I learned how to bait from them.
Okay.
And then after a while, and I kind of did the same thing in this game, but now with Puggers, with like, when I first started playing, I watched Exist a lot instead of like Forest and Get Right, because I just felt like he had really good cross replacement and like positioning. And then, yeah, pretty much only Exist, and even to this day, I watch a lot of Puggers. Just like, because when you pug, you like do the same thing over and over, and you get really good at it, and then you like learn the best way to do that one thing. So then, yeah, so even now, like there are a couple puggers that I watch still.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty unique way to look at the game, honestly, where it's kind of like you know why people are good, like like what pocket of the game that they've really mastered, right? Even if it's like a small thing in a pug, like you're saying. And you just try to figure out, okay, why is it working for them? How can I kind of replicate that when I need to? So I think that's really cool.
Even like there are some things that you can't just apply the single thing that one pugger is doing.
Yeah.
But you can like make a strat around it, because this play by itself works.
Yeah.
But like you can do like other things to make it better.
Okay.
And for instance, like I was watching our Inferno VOD yesterday, and Stu pushed alt mid, and I had downloaded a demo of Stu playing an Inferno pug where he got like 40 kills.
Yeah.
And that's when he underhanded the flash into alt mid, and then the only difference from the pug demo that I watched and what we did yesterday was Will peeked window as well. So like, there are a lot of things that you can apply to like competitive play.
I think that mentality is great, honestly. That's cool. Ty, one word, one team, tell me.
Team 3D.
All right, I love it. If you guys don't know, no explanation needed.